We had an episode last year that was the sick episode. You remember that?
Yeah.
We were both sick, but we did the episode anyway.
Yeah.
I think we deserve credit, so pat yourself on the back.
Why?
I think this is like the tired episode. I'm just so tired.
This week has been long.
This baby is just really, the stress of it and, carrying it. And now you
would know the carrying part is really hard for you.
And now I can't have any caffeine or chocolate. Ugh, it's so tough.
Oh my gosh. If I could shoot darts out of my eyes at you right now, I would. I had an ultrasound yesterday. So when you get towards the end of your pregnancy, especially with IVF babies, they monitor them really closely. And so we found out she has a heart arrhythmia.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yes. It's apparently really common to find in the third trimester. And they usually fix themselves before the baby's even born. And honestly, they said that we're not going to do anything different. They're just going to do the same ultrasounds every week like I would be doing anyways.
But
I can't have any caffeine. Or the worst one is any chocolate. That's my favorite. And it's been really hard. And I don't drink, I'm not chugging caffeine. We looked this up. We had this conversation yesterday because they say pregnant ladies can have a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink teas. I drink Coke. And I usually have 1 mini Coke a day, maybe 2. Do you know how many?
No, that's true. You have 1 or 2 mini Cokes here in the house. That's right. And then you have a Coke with lunch and a Coke with dinner. And I do the same thing. A lot of times.
That's not true. That's not true. I absolutely limit my intake. But it takes 3 or 4 12-ounce cans, the big cans.
12 ounce. 12 ounce. You sound like that guy I just talked to in the car on the way here.
He had the cutest Southern accent. 12-ounce cans. It takes 3 or 4 of them to equal 1 cup of coffee. But apparently, our fetus is just very sensitive to caffeine, which could be causing it's called fetal pax is what it's called. And it's in 1% of pregnancies that it happens in. So, but you know what? It didn't stop Mike from ordering a Coke at lunch.
I mean, what am I going to drink? You guys?
Sprite like I did.
I'm not drinking wine. I'm not, taking baths and hot baths because that's not allowed. I'm giving up a lot.
Yeah.
I don't take baths. But no, I'm giving up a lot. I've given up Amazon. So why don't you give up that?
Well, this week has been, other than that, it also has been really long. It's been long for you at work. And I was thinking about this the other day. Is it because you're trying to get everything ready before the baby? Or
do you want the answer to be yes?
No, I don't.
The truth is no.
Is work just busy right now?
Yeah, so I was looking at the calendar. Monday, we had a meeting that went from in the office. We've got some new stuff going on in the office, and that meeting went from 9 to 2. And then I had a client call at 4, which I had to prepare for. Just day stuff. Mm-hmm. I had a mediation all day on Tuesday, settled for $2.5 million.
Yay.
Happy about that. Wednesday, I was all around the earth for work. Yesterday, I had a meeting with 2 lawyers who send us business to talk about, frankly, how to get them more cases, because if they can get more cases, then I can get more cases. So I spend a lot of time unofficially
kind of coaching.
Coaching. Cool. There's a lot of jerks out there that sell mastermind courses and sell
pay
coaching.
Me and I'll teach you how to do this.
Yeah, pay me $10,000 and I'll come in your business for a day. I'll audit it, and then I'll come in a day later and I'll tell you what my 5 suggestions are. I do that all the time with other lawyers because if they succeed and get more cases, then they'll have more cases that they say, oh, I need Mike's help, and then they come to me. So I spend a lot of time doing that. Like yesterday, the conversation was all about marketing. We didn't even talk about any cases. And I basically just he came to me, he said, hey, can I take you out to lunch? I just want to pick your brain. I was like, sure. And he came and said, like, I'm having a problem where I'm not getting the number of calls from former clients that I think I should, meaning you help Susie and then 5 years go by and you don't hear back from Susie that she's been in another crash or that a friend or family or loved one.
Referral, maybe.
Yeah. And he's like, there's just too many times when I'm not getting those. And we sat there for 40 minutes just on this one topic. And I'm like, well, what do you do to retarget, to talk to your former clients? And he's like, well, nothing. Well, we send holiday cards. And I was like, yeah, you get buried in a stack of, 20 things.
You got to be fresh on their mind.
Yeah, I was like, I think you should, literally have someone pick up the phone. He doesn't have a ton. Like, I don't think he has thousands of clients, but I was like, even if it's 5 a day, which would be, I think, pretty crazy. Maybe on Mondays because of the weekend it gets longer, but call every client on their birthday and just say, hey, happy birthday. Mm-hmm. That's it. Or write a handwritten card. Or, what we do is we send emails out twice a year to everybody that's ever been a client of ours that says, hey, it's been 6 months. You're probably getting ready to renew your auto insurance. Here are some things you should probably know. Mm-hmm. Is that like lawyer salesy? I don't know. I don't think so. We don't say like, any of you been hit, call me. I'm like, look, don't get this coverage or think about this coverage or, don't trust your Allstate agent. Like, that's what I say in the emails. And they're very me emails. Like they're not like fancy. There's not like these great graphics. It's like, hey, it's Mike here.
Borders and heading.
As you know, I hate Allstate. If you're renewing, I suggest you try someone else. And I just, write all that out and send it out. But people, I think, appreciate that. Way back in the day, and this is what happens when I go to these meetings, I then start thinking about things that I have forgotten that I used to do. And I was like, that was a really good idea. Why did I stop doing that? We used to do a monthly email that had a calendar. And it was calendar of events. And we had different ones for different locations. And people, I remember one week I didn't send it out for some reason. And someone's like, where's our calendar? And I'm like, oh, you
actually look at it.
And they're like, yeah, it's so easy because, you have kid stuff. You have lawyer. I would put lawyer events. I'd put, kid stuff. I'd
events.
put, I'd put Hawks have a game. Falcons are away. So instead go to this festival and just adding value, even if it's not really related to lawyer stuff. At least people don't unsubscribe from your emails.
Yeah, my aunt is a real estate agent, and she always sends out the calendar that goes on your fridge, but it for different sports events. Like she knows that we're a Georgia fan, so we get a Georgia calendar. There's Hawks calendars and stuff. So and it just I love the calendar to see when the games are, but it also has her information on it, and she sends it to all of her former clients and things.
Yeah, I mean, how many tumblers do we have? Or Stanley cups or Yeti cups of different businesses.
I love a good tumbler with somebody's business name on it.
You just don't throw them out. Like that's always a decent thing because you don't throw them out. They're difficult to ship. We're currently trying to think of something that if you call my office and even if we can't help you directly, we can send you something. And that what that something is, we're trying to figure it out because it has to be something we can drop ship or something that we can ship from our office but do it easily. We can't have people boxing stuff every day. Yeah,
we've gotten so many things from like schools when we did the whole school application thing, like bumper stickers, but not a lot of people, don't want a Mike Rafey bumper sticker.
No.
Nobody
wants that.
One of your like smart aleck comments or something.
I think bumper stickers have had their day. They're gone. They're done.
Allstate sucks. Mike Rafey.
Maybe. I feel like I got to get sued at some point from Allstate.
For saying that?
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and then every night, this. Last night you said goodnight to me at like 9:00. You go good night, and I was like, okay, good night, love you. And I was up till whenever 2:00 in the morning doing stuff
like administration stuff with your business. Because if you're spending the time during the day doing other stuff,
it's one or the other.
Got to get done.
It's either case stuff during the day and law firm stuff at night, or reverse.
Yeah.
Usually it's case stuff during the day because that's when,
you can call clients. You can't call them at 9:00 at night.
And that's when I can call staff and say, hey, I need you to do this. So that way I can do what in our office, I always think it's interesting. Paralegals, staff members will be coming to me and say, hey, I'm not terribly busy. Like, what's going on? Can I get some more cases? And then I'll go to the lawyers and say, hey, what's going on with you guys? And they're like, we are swamped. And the reason for that is I've realized, I think over the years, is that staff do what they need to do, hand it off to the lawyers, and then staff are slow. Lawyers are doing what they need to do on whatever it is, and then they hand it back to staff, and it's just it's a ping pong.
One group is
back and forth.
overwhelmed, and then the other one's not. Yeah.
Yeah, you try not to get them overwhelmed, but it goes back and forth. And so when staff say, hey, I have a little bit of free time here, kind of slow, and I'm like, just give it a week. Enjoy your week. Breathe for a couple days. Get your other stuff that isn't pressing, get ahead of that. I feel like I'm counseling them the same way we counsel Charlie. We just had Charlie's had a self-guided presentation for us.
Student-led.
Okay, yeah.
Student-led conference.
Mine sounded a little more like introspective and like, up on a mountain and you smoke peyote or something. Self-led. But yeah, we could have been a Zoom call, but we drove all the way there so she could show us something on a TV screen connecting to her computer. Literally could have been a Zoom call.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about staff and Charlie. It's like I say the same thing, which is, hey, I know you're not busy now. I know you're not, you're
time management.
Let's get ahead on some things. Let's do some things because in 2 weeks when somebody says, hey, where's that? You're going to go, oh, I haven't had time, but your time is right now to do it. I promise your time is right now. Yeah. I did a day in the life video. It's really difficult to do a day in the life video because of client confidentiality, because a lot of things I can't talk about, not just client confidentiality, but case confidentiality and ethical rules and all that. So we did it sitting here. I basically wrote down for an entire day what I did in a day. And then I kind of recounted it. Here's what I did. And it was one of those videos where I think I say at the beginning, this is either going to be extremely boring or it's going to be really good. I think it was really good.
But did people like it?
Yeah, but I mean, look, I'm underappreciated on the long form videos. I'll say it. Very much underappreciated. But I think that's one of the...
Wait, you're underappreciated by your viewers?
By the number of viewers.
Oh.
And I think,
Step it up, viewers.
Well, YouTube cares that you watch the video all the way through. Okay. So, if I can encourage anybody, watch the videos all the way through. But that video, I think, is a really good example of like just what a normal day is. And it's like jumping to like 16 cases back and forth, doing all different things. And you just get tired. We usually film these on Tuesdays, Thursdays sometimes.
Yeah.
Like we rarely film these on a Friday. Today's a Friday.
It's
tired.
Yeah, we had to really move some things around to figure out when we could schedule it. It was unfortunately not because the baby was coming that we almost didn't film it. It just was life is busy.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You know who's not busy?
Who?
The federal government.
Because they're shut down. Will you explain it a little bit? Really, because we have a lot of people that I've noticed that will leave comments, and they're not from the U.S.
Yeah.
And I love that. There was somebody who commented on one of our last videos where we talked about Charlie's false alarm lockdown, and they were like, we don't have this in the U.K. And I just found that really interesting that they were, watching our podcast from, overseas.
English-speaking countries. We get some Australia. We get some
Canada. We get a lot of Canada.
Yeah, Canada, and then we get the UK and other related or not related countries over there.
I wonder, can you see the demographics? Like, I wonder the ones in the US, are we getting a lot of like people from the South or a lot of people from the North?
I can do cities.
You do cities?
Yeah, I mean Atlanta's the top. Houston is usually really high. Chicago is also high.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, New York, I mean, obviously just with the sheer number of people. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe it's because of my accent, which I'm telling you, I follow this linguist guy, and I have always said these words differently. Mary is the name Mary.
Yeah.
Mary gets married, and so she's Mary. Married, marry, Mary.
They're all
different
three
words.
The same. They're all three the same for me.
And I did not know that it was so limited to like where I'm from. Like it's a very small part of the country. The same with pin and pen. They're different words. Pin and pen. I
say those differently just because we have to pronounce them differently when teaching kids phonics, because the I and the E,
that goes away. But it goes away when they get older.
Yeah, you're stressing those sounds. But
so maybe they see my accent. Maybe they hear my accent and they're like, he's one of us.
He belongs up here.
How you guys doing? Shut the door.
I did when we first started dating, and you were like, I'm from New Jersey. I was like, where's the accent?
Yeah, but you've heard my grandpa's accent, right?
Oh, yeah.
My grandpa has it. My mom has it. My grandma had it.
Certain words with your mom, definitely.
Coffee, door.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all the curse words, but we're not going to say them here. So
my southern accent comes out after a few drinks.
Do you cuss or swear?
Huh?
Do you curse, cuss, or swear?
Cuss.
Do you say cuss?
Cuss.
That's so Southern, I think.
Oh,
Cuss.
really?
Swear seems like very religious, and then curse
Oh.
seems like. Here, let's play this little game. What do you call it when it's raining outside but the sun is out?
Isn't that like the devil's beating his wife?
Yeah, have you heard that from me? Is that you?
That's a Southern saying, I think.
Okay,
Isn't it?
so I would call it a sun shower.
Oh.
No sun shower.
No.
What do you call the night before Halloween? Do you have a name for that?
No.
We call it mischief night.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a thing. Like people going like stupid kids going like hit mailboxes, but mischief night. I'm trying to think of other things. We talked.
A cart versus a buggy. What do you say?
Yeah, shopping cart. I would say the whole thing. Shopping cart.
Oh, I say buggy.
Yeah, no. Buggy sounds like you're bothering me. Where's my buggy? I don't know, or like a cute pet name that you think is cute in your couple relationship, but everyone's just like, oh my God, stop it. This is terrible. Federal government. Sorry.
Yeah, that went.
Squirrel. Yeah, we got diverted there. Just like all the planes and the no TSA agents getting diverted right now.
So what is it affecting? Because even I didn't know for a while, and I live here.
Yeah, so
In the US.
The federal government is not operating right now at 100% because we have not passed a budget. And in order for the federal government to operate, we have to have a budget.
Does it frequently?
It happened during Trump's
down?
first term, and it happened during Obama's term. But those were, I think this is...
Is there only 4 times in history that it's happened?
Feels like you know that, but I don't.
I think it's
This
a
is turning
smaller
into
number
one of the
than what-
longest ones.
I think it's a smaller number than what you realize. Like, it's not a yearly thing. It's not a...
No, I realize that. I realize that a functioning government does not shut down every year. I realize that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it certainly is strange when one party has all 3 branches of government. That's strange. But for the shutdown, if you kind of use COVID terms, because we're now all generally familiar with those, essentially non-essential employees are just either furloughed, which means don't come to work, but you still have a job, or they're getting...
But you don't get paid.
Correct. Or they're getting fired. We can talk about the fired thing in a minute, because I think that's probably one of the most interesting things. If you're an essential government worker, your TSA, at least some of them, your air traffic controllers, your people who guard, and this is serious, your people who guard like the nuclear missile silos, they went from 10,000 people down to 400, but those people still go to work, but they just don't get paid. Now, typically...
But they will get back pay?
Yeah, eventually.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have bills due and stuff, I mean,
It doesn't help, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think, and maybe by the time I make this video, I'll be proven wrong that the government will be back open and operating and have passed a budget. Typically, in these situations, there are pressure points, like paying the troops. We spend, I don't know, $160 billion. We spend $16 billion a month on troop wages and other benefits. Mm-hmm. So that money right now, what the administration has done is found money. Whether this is legal or not, by the way, is a complicated issue. But they have found money in the government, and then they're taking it from, let's say it's supposed to be used over in this area, and then using it to pay the troops. Whether the executive branch can do that, because Congress is the branch that allocates money and says how it can be used and where it must go. But this administration is taking the money and using it to pay troops. Sounds like a noble thing. That's great. The problem with that from a reopening the government standpoint is that it takes away a pressure point. If troops are getting paid, if military people are getting paid, then there's no outcry of we need to open up the government, right? And a lot of times there's road projects and other building developments and other things that are in the progress or are in the works. And then there's outcry, hey, wait, our bridge isn't being built, our road isn't being built, our whatever that's going on in your community. Well, this administration is purposely canceling projects and defunding projects in especially Democratic states, even though just because the map is blue doesn't mean there's not Republicans there. And just because the map is red doesn't mean there's not Democrats there. But they want that, right? And then there's somebody in the administration who is literally in charge of firing people, and that's what they want. They want to reduce the workforce in a lot of departments that they don't agree with, and they're using this as an opportunity to do it. So it seems like the Republicans are like, wait, this isn't so bad, and the Democrats really are at this point, holding strong and saying they won't negotiate unless the Obamacare, the ACA subsidies,
Affordable Care Act.
yeah, are kept in whatever the new budget is. Now, all right, hold on, let me do one more thing. The Affordable Care Act basically works, at least as it's intended to work, that if you put a ton of people into these pools of these big groups that need insurance, that you can reduce the cost because you'll have a lot of healthy people bringing the cost down for the people that need medical treatment. And what the government has done is they have increased a tax on employers, and they use that to subsidize, to pay for part of people's medical care through the Affordable Care Act.
Okay.
During the Trump years, the first time, they cut out, they took that money that was going from the tax, from employment taxes, and it was supposed to go to the Affordable Care Act for subsidies. Well, they kept the tax, but they just diverted the money somewhere else. So that got kicked out. But the government's still paying some subsidies to keep to keep health insurance costs low. And that's not going to happen right now. And that isn't happening right now. And that's why if you happen to be renewing your insurance policy,
which is a lot of people that are preparing to.
Yeah, they're double, tripling, quadrupling right now because the government is not subsidizing that cost.
Yeah, I've seen some people who, generally pay $800 for a family per month, which is a lot of money, and their health insurance is projected to go up to like $1,900 a month. And that just...
And Georgia's one of the worst states where we live.
Yeah, and just families can't
afford it.
Yeah, they can't absorb that extra cost, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't see neither side really sees any reason to end the shutdown at this point. It's just there isn't some like big reason to do so. It reminds me of COVID when, or at least it makes me think of COVID where, my office, everybody came into work. I think it was like the first March of the first week of March.
I think everything shut down like that first week in March.
Because depending on where you were in the country, some places shut down essentially. Everybody closed up a little bit early. But I had everybody come in on Monday morning to work. And I said, everybody, take your computers, take your monitors, take your keyboards, take whatever you need, and you're going to go home.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was thinking it would take, I guessed 4th of July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the school systems were like, we'll be back next week. Don't worry. And in fact, they did make us come back the next week. And then we had to get
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
We were out for 2 or 3 days for the weekend to clean the schools. And then we came back on like a Monday or Tuesday. And they were like, get your stuff and get out. Yeah.
So it makes me think of that because for like a week, everybody in my office, we kind of just sat around like, oh, we don't know what to do. This will hopefully be over and we'll just it's basically a vacation week. And that's okay because court's closed, everything's closed.
Yeah.
But then after that week, it was like, oh, well, we got to do stuff. Like there's important stuff we have to do. And we worked hard during COVID, right? Yeah. We worked really, really hard. And it kind of shows how stupid and inept and useless so much of the government is that I'm looking outside. Like our world is going on fine for most non-federal government workers. Ignore the fact, and I don't, if you put aside the fact that a lot of people aren't getting paid, and if that was fixed, if there was a government shutdown, but everybody got paid for their work that they did, right? And then government just didn't operate, didn't pass laws, didn't have sessions of Congress and all that, we wouldn't notice. Like they're not passing laws anyway.
So
imagine if I was like, hey, the Raythew law firm shut down, and all my clients are like, meh, okay, no big deal. Like it just show how poorly run and managed you are.
Yeah. I think the scary thing that keeps coming up recently, we were told that there may not be like SNAP benefits for families in
Those
November.
people should get to work, Ashley. They should just work.
So
if they're not working, they don't deserve food stamps. What are we doing? Just work.
I'm glad you said that because I was watching an interview the other day of a politician. I can't remember who it was. But
were they old and white and crusty?
Is that most?
Yeah, I was making sure.
But no, he actually had a really good point. He said that...
then he wasn't old, white, and crusty.
Okay. He said like 15, 20 years ago, the American people, we were all in a pool together and we were getting our information all from the same pool. But now because of social media, we're kind of in our own silos And so if you are a Democrat, then you are getting fed all the Democrat stuff. If you are a Republican, you're getting fed all the Republican based on your algorithm online.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true that people are just seeing
what they want to see. You hit don't like, unsubscribe, I'm not interested.
Right. And the same with like news outlets too. You're watching news outlets that, you
mean entertainment outlets. Entertainment, current events, entertainment stations
that are targeted towards your beliefs. So you're not actually seeing the other side of things. And I think that is really dangerous for people, because then you get a lot of people that are saying you should just go to work. In fact, my algorithm is so confused because it doesn't know, because we're part of the Bible Belt. We're, liberal, conservative, because of where I grew up. It's not sure. It's swinging. My political pendulum on my algorithm is swinging back and forth. It's so confused right now. But what we're seeing with the SNAP benefits, and those are like food stamps essentially. If you're not,
free lunches for kids.
There's a program called WIC that's for moms and like young kids that provide formula and
Shouldn't
diapers
have those babies.
and stuff.
Shouldn't have those babies.
Well,
if you can't afford them, don't have them.
What we're seeing a lot of like military families that are not getting paid enough, and they're on food stamps, or they're on the WIC program, which I think is crazy. If you are defending our country and you're not getting paid enough to support yourself and your family, I think that is insane. What?
I think it might show that we have too many people in the military if we're choosing not to pay them all a livable wage and salary.
I don't even know about that. It might just be that we are spending the money in the wrong places. But I don't think so. Those are hardworking people.
Well, for this on the SNAP stuff, on the food stamps, we'll just call it food stamps, and WIC falls into this too. Like on the assistance for daily living stuff, the same people saying, "Oh, well, just go work, go work," are the same people saying, "I own a small business. I can't hire anybody because my tariffs are up, and my revenue's down, and I can't afford it." And man, and you can't have it both ways. And they're the same people saying, "I don't want to hire people who, don't look like me. I don't want to hire people that need accommodations and benefits. I don't want to hire a single mom that needs to leave at 3:00 to go pick up their kid, can't come in until, 8:30 instead of 8 because they have to drop their kid off." Like, those two views don't jive. You can't say, go get a job, but also be a good parent. Oh, well, if you can't be, you shouldn't have had the kid. Well, we're all in the situation we're in. So those are the people that kill me. And then on the military, this will be the most controversial thing I've ever said on here. I think the military is a government subsidy for a lot of people who can't find a job elsewhere. I mean, the military is made up of highly educated people that go to places like service academies and have technical degrees because they are in charge of important, complicated things and technology and all that. And then you have a lot of people that choose to go in the military because they don't have any other options. And the government chooses to allow those people to come in the military and be in certain positions because it's essentially like a jobs program. And I say this not in an insulting way. When NASA first started, NASA was viewed by the government as a huge cost. Who cares? We're not really going to go to the moon like this. It's not going to work. But it was sold to the then administration as, look, at least we're going to create a lot of jobs. We'll put a lot of people to work, but it's the government paying for those people's jobs. And a lot of people in the military, we're not in any wars with people with boots on the ground, with thousands of soldiers. We probably never will be again with tens or hundreds of thousands of soldiers, maybe tens, but not hundreds of thousands of soldiers. Why do we need so many?
I understand what you're saying, but I do think that it is good that...
Why don't we just stop doing stuff so other countries stop hating us, and then we won't need to defend ourselves so rigorously?
I'm not even worried about that. I think that it is great that there are job opportunities for all kinds of people.
Sure, but we can't have it both ways we being certain subsets of the country, and say the military is so important. We need the best and the brightest. These are the same people that say, DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusion, that is ridiculous. Well, hey, I'm an 18-year-old kid. I hope I hope if anybody's in this situation, I mean, I'm not speaking down to you and I'm not trying to disparage you, but if we are following no DEI hires in the military, we're not taking an 18-year-old kid who maybe didn't pass high school or maybe barely passed high school, can't get into a college and, whatever. But that's a welcoming place in the military. I personally think that's good, but the people that don't are the same people saying we want only the best and the brightest. And all we want is, people who are the most qualified. That's not the most qualified. That's just not.
I think,
and that's okay, but it's also socialistic.
Opportunities.
It's also socialistic. It's the government paying for jobs. So,
well, going back to the SNAP benefits, I would rather. There's a lot of people that are go get a job, saying things like that. I am sure that people are using that system that are benefiting from it that probably don't need it. But I would rather feed 100 people that are just using the system and working at 100 adults to make sure that one kid gets fed. That
it makes me think of the call I just had that I was on speakerphone that you heard with the guy, the older lawyer I was just talking to, who has a very, very Southern accent, who used the phrase, he doesn't know dick a bunch.
And I have never heard
He wasn't talking about Dick the person. That guy doesn't know dick. And I was like, all right, that's not the right accent. It was like a grandpa Southern accent, but he said it 2 or 3 times. I was like, I think I got to bring this back. This is a great, but he said, I don't know why, he was just telling me stories. He called about a case, asked me if I wanted to work on a case.
He just wanted to talk
and just we got stories.
That happens.
But one story he said to me was, I went over to Emory, which is our, big hospital chain here. And he said, I was asked to speak to all the new doctors one year. And there was 100, 200 doctors, nurses, staff. And he walks in there as a plaintiff's lawyer, somebody that represents injured people and handles med mal cases. And everybody there is kind of standoffish with him. And they think that he's evil, right? He's the one suing the doctors. And the first thing he said to them was, hey, more than 90% of the time when someone calls and thinks they have a case, it's because they just had a bad outcome and they want to know, hey, is this a case? They were treated badly by the doctor, so they're mad and they want to know if they can do something. Or some other reason, maybe a friend or family member has told them, hey, you need to talk to a lawyer, and they're just doing what somebody recommended them. And he said, less than 10, probably more like less than 5% of the time, do people that call, they're not even clients, do people that call him even get past the first conversation? Because he says, hey, I can tell you right now, you don't have a case. Right. And all the doctors and the nurses in that meeting were like, really? And he goes, yeah, you know what? To be honest, I'm your best friend. I'm the person out here telling everybody you don't have a case.
His time or his money his resources.
What did he say? He said he compared
something to a prostitute. I don't know.
What was it? He said
I couldn't keep up because I was just giggling
it was something
at his
like
stories.
A prostitute gets to pick her clients or take the money from the people she wants or something like that.
A last minute prostitute or
something
weird.
Do you remember last episode when I said to you I sat down with that guy and then he started talking about his vasectomy in 3 minutes?
Yeah.
And I said that so many people in their first phone call or conversation, however it is, just say random stuff and I'm like,
you make people feel safe. Maybe you're people's safe space where they can just
that guy said doesn't know dick twice in the first minute or two, and then within 5 minutes he's making references to prostitutes. I'm just saying,
I like a good reference to a prostitute.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But the next person I call, I got to call a friend that I was supposed to go to lunch with him. I moved it so we could do this. Yeah. And he just texted me a picture of food.
Are you going to say something about doesn't know dicks?
I'm going to call, I don't know, that restaurant, they don't know dick. And it's a prostitute with money. I'm just going to see what he says.
I've never heard that saying ever. Yeah. And I don't even know if this guy used it appropriately.
When he said, well, it's inappropriate. Oh, used it appropriate. I was like it's inappropriate. Charlie was in the car because we're driving to.
I know. And you're like, take it off speaker.
Well, no. I looked at you the first time he said it and you didn't react. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then he said it a second time. I looked at you and you're like, And I don't think it clicked in with you.
Mm-hmm. So I've heard a lot of people about the government shutdown.
Oh, wow. You've got topics.
Yeah, I did. So I went down a rabbit hole, actually.
When?
when you were doing administrative work last night.
What were you doing?
I wanted to.
I thought you went to bed.
I was laying in bed.
Oh.
I can't sleep. I've got this.
I know.
I told you.
Oh, that was going. Wait, hold on. That was going. Hold on, because I got that phlegm. Hold on. Oh, that is it. That is it. Mm-hmm. That is it. That's what I sleep next to. I sleep next to that sound. And I thought, and tell everybody that you get sad if I leave bed during the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to catch 22 because if I leave bed and like come down here.
Try and sleep on the couch.
Or just watch TV. Yeah, or we have a room in the basement. I'll go in there, try to sleep. Maybe I feel bad because I know that not bothers you. You want me to be in bed.
At some point in the night, I'm going to reach over there and try and touch you, and you're not going to be there. And then I wake up and I'm like mad or sad.
And if I don't send you a text message saying, hey, I'm going downstairs in the middle of the night, that makes...
I think you got abducted.
Right, but if I do send the text message, then you wake up because you keep your phone on in the middle of the night, which is wild.
On vibration.
Yeah, but it vibrates. I mean, like it's louder probably than a ring.
Maybe.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm just not sleeping well in general because I'm snoring, so you're not
and
sleeping well.
And welcome back to Ashley Complains. In this episode, we'll be talking about sleep.
Because I have an increased blood flow from being pregnant, and so that makes you snore. And then I'm surprised you didn't say that I'm keeping you up because every time I roll over, I go, oh, or make a noise.
I think I'm used to that. I think I'm fine with the, what I'm not fine with is, and then.
He really likes me,
I just can't sleep. Why you have to verbalize that? I just can't sleep. I know, I hear you. I'm there.
Our bed at night is very active and not for like normal married people reasons. It's active because of the snoring and the rolling over, and then Mike having his night terrors every now and then because he had one the other night where he sat up and was like, "Why are they here?"
What?
Yeah, you sat up and you were like, "That guy with the flashlight." I was like,
really?
Yeah, and I said, you're dreaming. I don't even have the energy now to turn on my light.
That's first episode we ever did was I think it was called like sleepwalking or night terrors or something. I thought my sleeping's been pretty good.
It's just because I am too exhausted to deal with it, and I think that you realize the exhaustion.
I feel this is the least energy I've had in a really long time. I was so tired yesterday. I didn't even want to smoke a cigar because I was afraid I'd be like my grandma. My grandma smoked cigarettes.
And fall asleep?
Oh, my God, yeah. When she got older, you'd go downstairs and she'd be sitting in like in her couch or her chair. It's like she had like a double width chair. Mm-hmm. And you'd see, we call my grandma Netta. Her name was Annette, but we called her Netta. And she'd have a cigarette in her hand and it'd be half in an ashtray.
She'd slowly
and
nod
she'd
off.
just nod off. We always thought she'd burn down the house, but she never did. And you know what also never happened?
What?
Fire department never came. There was a time though. I basically I spent a ton of time with my grandma and grandpa growing up. There was a time where I thought it was hilarious to lock them out of the house. This is what I did. I don't know how old I was. I had to be in like 3rd or 4th grade.
As I say, you had to have been young. Because
maybe even younger. I don't know.
That would have been really mean as a middle schooler.
My grandma would go out in the yard and she had a garden. She would grow tomatoes and all this stuff. And my grandpa would, not be home or be doing something. And I locked them out. I would lock them out. And then
just giggle to yourself.
Oh my God, yeah. I'd run to all the different doors and I would just laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And then the only other thing, I don't know why we got on grandma stories. I'm going to keep telling them. My grandma and I used to play a game that for some reason we called the Heine ball. So we rolled up dish rags with rubber bands. And like I played sports all growing up. And the reason I played sports is because my grandma would do stuff with me. Yeah. But she had this long hallway right next to the kitchen. So you had the stove like in the kitchen over here. And then she had this long hallway that went to their master bedroom. And we would go in that hallway and I had like a Mickey Mouse bat like Wells has. And I would hit the ball. When I was thinking, I should have told this last week when we were talking about the fire truck coming. Once she had something on the stove and our ball, which is just a dish rag, went into and set on fire and started, there was a fire, but it was manageable. The firefighters came and all that. And that's maybe where I started to really enjoy having firefighters come to houses in the middle of the night or other places, other times.
We've had quite a few. I mean, even at the townhome when when the elevator locked your cigar box on the elevator, and they wouldn't give you the key to the elevator to unlock it.
Yeah, so
they had to come
explain
to
to
our
everybody.
house.
We had a 4-story townhouse above a pizza place.
Didn't we? Was this a short or was it?
It was a short.
Okay, so it was never
Logan's
told.
laughing here about this one. Yeah, so
it was hilarious.
it was one of those videos I was like, this is stupid. We shouldn't put it out. And then we did, and people watched it. Yeah, so we lived above a pizza place.
Yes.
And it was 4 stories, the townhouse, and it had an elevator.
Which is ridiculous, but it's mainly the townhome was built for a retired couple that
I don't know about that.
I think it
Hey,
was.
yo, Tony, you getting retired? You want to come above the pizza place?
It wasn't a
Gabagoo?
It was not a family place though.
No,
to
but I
live
think it was
because on the
definitely
outline.
for. I think you're right. I wouldn't call it retirement, but I think it was definitely an accommodation that all of them had. But it was a small little elevator. We used it for groceries.
I never got on that thing ever because it was so small and rickety.
Well, you know, I got trapped on. I had to call the fire.
Yeah,
The first
can't do that. Claustrophobic.
the first or second time I ever used it, which was like a month into living there, I got trapped on the elevator, stuck in between floors, and that happened all the time with the elevator.
Oh yeah, it was
I
more
didn't know
trouble
it-
than it was worth.
I didn't know it back then, but I got trapped. And what they told us, what eventually I learned is the elevator has a phone, has to have a phone. You have to be able to call out.
Right.
So I didn't have my cell phone. So all I have is the elevator phone, and I'm trapped in the elevator. And the lights go off because it only lights up for a certain amount of time. So I'm just in the dark.
This is my worst nightmare.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever told you the story.
I remember you getting stuck on it, but I remember
No,
you
this
telling
is
me
this
about,
is when I first moved in. This is
I
like,
remember you telling me
Oh.
you got stuck on it, but I don't remember the details because that scares me even more.
well, what I
Those
learned
details.
was that what I learned from it is that you need to put phone numbers, like a card, index card, note card with phone numbers in the elevator because I'm trapped on the elevator and I have my phone. It's a corded phone in
Right.
the elevator, and that's all I have. I don't know anybody's number.
911.
That's who I eventually call.
I would sit on and
So
with the
what I
dispatcher be
did-
like, please
what
don't
I-
leave me alone on this elevator. Talk to me the entire
I called my
time.
office and I said, "Hey, can you find my real estate agent who had literally just sold it? It was within the first month because I thought that she had a key. Couldn't get a hold of her. I didn't want to call 911, but I had to. And you know, in the back of the townhouse, you saw sometimes when you got like really big deliveries, when I'm talking like when people got new appliances, the kitchen was on that second floor. Did you ever see a time when they would load things through the second floor because you couldn't get up through the first floor stairs?
Yes.
So they'd open up these big doors in the kitchen that overlooked, the outside, and they'd have a little mini crane and they'd load things through there, dishwashers and refrigerators, sometimes mattresses. When we got furniture delivered once, we had to have a couch, I think, through there. You remember all that?
Not the most practical
Yeah.
place to live.
So because the door was like metal. I mean, you couldn't get through there. So when I called 911, I was like, "Hey, I'm trapped in my elevator. They send the firefighters?" And they broke the door through the
Well,
kitchen.
I was about to say, how did they get
They
in?
axed it.
Yeah.
With an axe. They came in through there. I heard it. And then they let me in. But there was an elevator key. There's a universal elevator key. And the elevator always got caught. And I used the elevator to store my cigars. That way, no matter what floor I was on, I could get them.
Most people with an elevator purchase an elevator key, don't they? And they keep it in their house.
Once they learn they need an elevator key,
Yeah.
yes. Now
Mike
being
didn't
locked,
learn from the first
no,
time.
being locked inside the elevator key doesn't
Oh,
wouldn't
it
have
has
helped.
to be for the outside.
Yeah,
Okay.
the outside was that top upper area where you
Yeah.
could use the key. So then we learned after that. But I went to the fire station and I was like, "Hey, can I just borrow your elevator key, please? I locked something." And they're like, "Well, come on down." And I was like, "No, you don't have to." And they're like, "Well, come on down." I was like, "No, you don't have to." And they're like, "Well, come on." I was like, "You don't have to. Let me borrow the key."
I
And
promise I'll bring it back. I'll leave my ID with
Yeah, and then
you.
I was like, "You know what? I don't need the key. I'll order one off Amazon. No big deal." And they're like, "No, we'll come."
They were really bored this day
Well,
because the girls and I were at the house.
I didn't realize they'd come in 2 fire trucks
Oh, I loved it.
with the lights on.
Yep.
And so then 4 firefighters come into our house and they're like, "So, the elevator?" And I'm like, "Yeah, right here."
I think I videotaped them, didn't I? Coming up the stairs.
I
Don't I
think
have
so.
a video of them? Because Charlie and I are just
I was so
giggling.
embarrassed because I had told them, I didn't lie. I just said, "Hey, there's something important in my elevator that I need to get.
Today.
And when they open up the elevator, the only thing
Is a
in the
little
elevator
humidor.
is a humidor and they're like, "Huh." And I'm like an idiot. I'm like, hey, you guys want a cigar? And the one guy looks at me and goes, firefighters, we don't do with fire, no fire. And I was like, oh yeah, lighting them. Yeah, forgot about that. So yeah, that was and then we bought him lunch. We bought the fire station lunch the next week to say thank you. That was a really expensive key. I could have bought 20 keys on Amazon for that price.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on this story.
So I told you I went down a rabbit hole with the government shutdown.
Oh, we're back.
We're back. I have seen a lot of posts from people saying Democrats won't reopen the government. They won't agree to what the Republicans are placing in front of them, the bill or whatever, because Democrats want to give free health care to illegal immigrants. Have you seen that?
Yes. And Democrats also want illegals to vote.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I've seen
Both of those
I've seen
things
the health care.
Both of those things are illegal.
Well, I looked up.
They don't actually want that. I don't think anybody actually wants non-citizens to vote.
Well, I looked up and I was like, well, illegal immigrants, people that are here illegally, they can't get Medicaid. They
Correct.
can't qualify for Medicare.
Correct.
They can't qualify for, there's something that starts with a CH. It's like the child health care.
The only thing that they can
think,
get is emergency services that are life-threatening, and then they get patched up, and then they get sent home. Just like anybody who doesn't have health insurance, frankly. But that is such a small percentage of the spending, like wildly small.
Wait, the like emergency room?
Yeah, the cost for emergent care.
Well, and did you know with that, because I went down that rabbit hole too, that you have
when you get your finger going,
you have to qualify, like after it's only certain emergencies like childbirth or a heart attack.
Yeah, like you're going to die.
Yeah, if you go and it ends up being just a cold, they're going to find you and bill you. Yeah. And they will find you even if you are an immigrant, they will find you because
I represent I represent people who are undocumented. I've got a client right now who's in Venezuela, was hurt over here and then was deported. So I represent somebody, and I'll tell you right now, we're trying to figure out how do we get the person deposed? If and I'm sure the defense is going to be, especially the person that's handling this case from the defense side, they're going to go out of their way to say, we want it in person, which they have a right to, but we want it in person just so I have to say to them, and they know this already, my guy's in Venezuela. We can go in person. I'm down to go,
we're going.
But I don't know if you want to. But generally, if you file a lawsuit I'll say it this way, where you filed a lawsuit in general is where you're agreeing to go for court-related stuff. Let's just say it that way. So if I live in Texas, but I file a lawsuit in Georgia, and the defendant lives in Georgia,
then you're agreeing to go to Georgia.
Usually everybody accommodates everybody, right? Like in the last month, I've had depositions I've got one next week in Chicago. We've had one here locally in Atlanta,
Florida,
Jacksonville. We've been all around. Generally, the lawyers just accommodate each other. Yeah. But if you don't want to, and you want to be a word of the podcast, dick, then you. That
goes really well with last week's vasectomies.
Oh God.
You're still
haven't had my virtual appointment yet, everyone, if you're wondering. But you're kind of submitting to the jurisdiction that you filed the lawsuit in. This person didn't choose to leave. They were not so kindly asked to leave.
Yeah.
But they have the right to file a lawsuit here. Non-citizens have the rights to personal injury cases and the civil justice system, just like anyone. And I think it's important to realize that if they didn't, then anyone could just take advantage of undocumented people, or anyone could hurt undocumented people and have no penalties, because lawsuits are about two things. And in my office and most personal injury law firms, we focus on the injured people. We want to compensate the people for what they went through. And the only thing we do that through generally is money, because that's how the system works. So we want to get people fair compensation. But, deep down inside, depending on the case, I also want to punish the other side. Now, the law says the jury's not supposed to punish the other side. but you're supposed to award money. And I know that's going to harm the other side potentially. And sometimes I want to harm them.
Make them rethink before they make the same decisions.
Yeah. And look, even if it's your insurance company that's paying the money, just by virtue of being a defendant, having to go through the process, having to tell your friends and family, I'm being sued, I have to go to this deposition, I have to go to court, this is what I did. Like, sometimes you kind of deserve that shit. Mm-hmm. So that's the two parts here, is that if we take away the right and the access that undocumented people have to courts, then we're just letting a free-for-all on them. And I don't think that's right. I mean, it comes up with lost wages a lot, where companies, when they're being sued, say, well, our truck smashed into that person, but they're undocumented. They're not allowed to work. They can't work. So they don't have the right to get lost wages, even though they were working at the time they were hurt.
Wow.
And then they couldn't. That comes up a ton. And jurors hold that over, jurors definitely, hold that over clients' heads sometimes, where they're like, well, I'm not going to give, this person lost wages because they're not allowed to work. And my thoughts on this whole working, non-working, undocumented, documented thing is, it's kind of like, coming back to prostitution. It's kind of like prostitution, where generally the police don't arrest, I wonder why, don't arrest the men using the prostitutes. It happens, but that's not usually what they're trying to go for. Yeah. They're arresting the women, and if the women have any like handlers, and it's not always women, but they're arresting the prostitutes and anyone involved in the business side of it. Mm-hmm. They usually don't arrest Tim, who, is meeting the person.
They're pimps.
Yeah. Pimps and hoes. Is that what you want me to say? They usually arrest the pimps and hoes. That's a technical legal term. Pimping is actually a crime. Like, it's a legitimate crime.
I know.
So, but when we talk about undocumented workers, we arrest the undocumented workers at their job doing work. You don't ever arrest the employer who's not paying full taxes for these people, who are hiring them without running background checks, who aren't telling the government, like,
they're not having to pay health insurance on them because
right. So we're going after it's like if your faucet is leaking, there's a problem with your faucet. Oh, okay, I'll just get a bigger bowl, or I'll get your roof is leaking. I'll just get a bigger pot to catch the leak. No, stop the leak in the ceiling or in the faucet. And the leak, when it comes to working or having undocumented people work and allowing them to do that, if we're going to be against that, is that employers are doing it because they need them. And that's why, I will never run for politics again, because this will all be used against me one day. One day, maybe not one day.
You'll never run for politics again? Have you ran for politics?
Oh, did I say again?
Yeah, you said again.
I mean, I did run for my HOA board, and I dominated that. That's when I found out, that I need to move from the HOA
because they didn't have enough money to pay for the roofs like they were supposed to of the townhomes.
I don't think I've ever run for anything that I can think of. Charlie, in what's it called?
5th grade?
Yeah, what's it
Student
called?
Council.
Student council. I don't think I've ever run for anything. The only thing I won, 8th grade. Nicest eyes. I don't even think they can do superlatives like that anymore. I did win in law school. I was voted most likely to be on a billboard. And to date, I have not been on a billboard.
But that might be changing
all of you
soon.
People. What?
That might be changing soon, possibly.
Why are we going to talk about this? It's fair. That's fair. Maybe. I don't know.
So if you is it just Atlanta area that you're thinking about?
I want it to not be Atlanta. if I'm ever going to do a billboard, I don't want it to be anywhere where I'm going to see it.
Every time I pass one, I'm going to snap a picture of it.
I think
I've talked today.
I don't know if we've talked about billboards here, but I've definitely talked about it in shorts. I mean, I don't like billboard advertising. Mm-hmm. And the reason I don't like billboard advertising is because it doesn't, at least the billboards I've seen, I've never seen a message that I think is good enough. Like, my friend Andre, he's got his justice, recovery. Like, that's cool. Like, I get it.
I wouldn't know that he was a lawyer, though, just from being an outsider looking in, I would have no idea.
I mean, another guy who we saw this weekend when we were getting breakfast, Ronnie Mabra's billboards just say Mabra Law. Like, if it's, I want to tell people about me or give them some reason why I'm different. And I don't want to be
just like everyone else, just like every other personal injury lawyer that you see.
Yeah, because they use billboards for brand awareness, and that is what you use them for. You just to jog somebody's memory. If you're online searching, you say, "Oh, that name rings true." Maybe you don't even know why, but it's because every day you pass this billboard, and Steve on the billboard is dressed like a superhero with a cape and he's flying through the billboard.
I like the ones where people are punching through the...
Nick Snyder's with the boxing gloves. There's the karate lawyer down here where I pick up sushi sometimes. He kicks back. I mean, obviously, I'm very, very focused on them. I
What's
look
your
at them.
slogan going to be?
This is the problem. And I want billboards because I wouldn't say I want billboards. Other people in my office think billboards would be a really good idea because we do this and we're somewhat popular on the internet and all that. And it might help to have brand awareness in certain places where we do a lot of work. But then I'm like raising my hand in the back being like, guys, like once a month I make a video about how stupid billboards are and don't hire billboard lawyers. I don't think we should do this. And so it's like, how do you make a billboard that makes you not a billboard lawyer? Like I've always said,
use that. Yes, I think that
don't hire a lawyer from a billboard is what I would want my billboard to say. But how do you?
Just kidding.
No, I don't.
Hire me.
I don't think you should hire me or anybody from a billboard.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should. Yeah, I think you should know the names. Maybe not should, but you may know the names of a couple lawyers from billboards. But I don't think you should call just because somebody's on a billboard. You should say, let me go to their website. Let me watch their videos. What you can get to know me pretty quickly.
Mike Rafey, not just another billboard lawyer.
Yeah, that's lame though. That sounds no offense.
Rude.
That sounds like you're a billboard lawyer trying not to be a billboard lawyer. And I don't think there's anything wrong with advertising. Like I think, client awareness. It's really important to tell people you're in business and you exist. But I can't think of a way to do a billboard that doesn't make me a hypocrite.
Yeah, it really is just about putting your name out there and then also a picture of you because you are on social media.
Thumbs up.
We're going to have big pictures
Mike
Rafey.
I've been sending emails lately where from my computer where I don't have access to emojis and you make fun of me because in emails I write in parentheses, thumbs up.
Yes.
Or thumbs down sometimes.
Yes. He will send out an email and it just says thumbs up.
It literally says thumbs up or thumbs down. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to go middle thumb or something.
Mediocre.
Yeah. But there's no stereotype for lawyers who advertise on the internet. And, we advertise on the internet in the sense that you can call this advertising. I mean, we decided to do this, one, because I thought we'd have fun. Two, because we thought that we'd reach people that we don't ordinarily reach. And that's obviously important to me. And if you're watching this and you're willing to spend an hour with us every week, that's really cool. We appreciate you. That's why I actually read your comments and not the comments in the shorts.
Well, it's the same people. And I love you. You need to go back to the last video, the vasectomy one, because there were some people really came out of the woodwork there and were like, it's fine. Stop being a baby.
Right, yeah, I read those
Shut
and then
up.
I stopped reading. Right, no, that's they're always nice to
yourself,
you
Mike.
in the comments.
There were a couple of people that said there's no way that cigar smoke set off the smell of it, set off the thing, set off the alarm.
Do you want to change your opinion?
And no, I just wrote back. I said that's too rational for me. I'm too pregnant to be that rational.
Yeah. We still haven't figured out why that happened. But I know.
It's your fault for some reason. I just haven't
100%,
quite figured
100%.
it out yet.
Yeah, but we've got to figure out what and the reason this came up, and the reason, frankly, that I've spent a lot of time, more than usual, on business operations is because we're planning for next year. And this is around the time that we start doing that.
Yep.
So, we had... so everybody kind of throws out ideas, and it's very easy for people in my office to be like, yeah, you should get billboards, when it's you should get billboards. Once I say to them, hey, cool, one of the big roads here, every road is named Peachtree. So I'm like, do you want to put your face on Peachtree? Like, well, what about you? We'll put your name and your face. And everyone's like, no, I don't want that. That's why I said, if we ever did it, I wouldn't want to do it anywhere near where we live. I don't know.
Oh gosh, the kids would never let you live that down.
They have the digital billboards now. I wish, and maybe I should ask, maybe this is something I can ask. I wish you could play videos on, obviously you can Times Square, where you can play videos. I would do video billboards where I can actually communicate a message in some way, shape or form. But when you're driving down, a road at 95 miles an hour, because that's the minimum speed in the roads here in and around Atlanta, you're not
Not true.
you're not catching any info. All you're seeing is, oh, lawyer, yep, person. That's it. That's all you're seeing. And I don't know what that does for us.
I'm going to drive Wellesley by them so you could just say Dada. Dada. Hi, Dada.
He gets really confused when we FaceTime and I'm in the room.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? What is this? What is this?
He likes to FaceTime, so he wants to use the phone. It's not that we're lazy and not getting up and just going and talking to the other person. Let me clarify.
That happens all the time. You FaceTime me all the time.
What do you mean?
When you're on one of the couches or a bed.
Oh, yeah, when I'm in bed and you're outside
Yeah.
smoking a cigar because they don't like the cigar smoke.
No, you don't want to walk downstairs,
Nope.
which I understand why you
legitimate
don't.
reason.
I understand why you don't. Well, we've got a busy night. I got to go to work, but then we have a busy night of shuttling kids around. We have 3 parties for 2 kids.
Do
Do that again. Do that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
The season of life is busy and it's just going to get busier. In fact, last night, this is funny. I have one of those exercise balls that you can bounce on when you're pregnant that's supposed to, help induce you,
If
get your
there's an
labor
old
going.
wives' tale, Ashley believes it. Oh, the baby's high, girl. Oh, the baby's low, boy. Oh, I have heartburn, hair on the baby's head. Like
Maybe. We'll see.
if
But
there's an old wives' tale. you
last
believe
night,
it.
I told Mike, I said, he was going to work on his administrative work that he needed to do. And I said, okay, I'm going to go bounce my ball. And he looks at me and goes, please don't do that tonight.
I don't want
He
this
said,
to work tonight.
Tonight's not the night.
It'd be
That
great.
is how tired we are. Is that we're like, maybe, even though we're there at the end of the line, we're like, maybe just give her another night.
Do you want to do you want to make a quick bet on when the baby comes?
No. But yes.
Do you want to know how tired I am?
What?
Do you want to know how tired I am? All right, so I'll tell everybody, we mediate cases. The way mediation works is both sides come, whether in person or virtually, to a mediation, and you have a mediator who's a lawyer, and the mediator's job is to settle the case. And my job as the plaintiff's lawyer is to get my client as much money as possible. The defense lawyer's job is to pay as little as possible. And the mediator's job is just to settle. Mm-hmm. And you get to know, certain mediators very well over the years. And in my office, we probably only use 3 to 5 a year. So when we mediate a lot of cases,
The same mediators.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's built on trust, because when the mediator says to you, whatever, hey Mike, this is all they're willing to offer you, you got to believe that. First you have to know the mediator's really good at their job because he's been in their room, whether in person or virtually, and when they say, hey, this is our last offer, the mediator tests that and says, are you sure? What about this? And pushes them. And so you got to be confident that they actually got that information correctly.
Right.
And then you got to be confident that they're telling you the truth.
You don't want to feel like they're working against you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But the mediator does work against both sides.
Right. You want to feel like they're in the middle and they're treating both of you fairly.
Yeah. And the mediators say to the defense, hey, my job here is as the mediator is to get you to offer the most amount of money I possibly can. And then they say to me, Mike, your job is when we offer, or when I get them to offer the most amount of money I can, your job is to help your client make a really good decision. That's how I view mediation. Mm-hmm. The mediator gets the top number from the defense, and then me and my client together, we make a good decision. So and a lot of times when cases don't settle at mediation, the conversation continues for days, weeks, months later. So on one of my biggest cases, I talked to a mediator last Sunday night on the phone,
Yes.
walking around at 7:00 on a Sunday, because he texted me and was like, hey, I got to talk to you. So we talk all the time, because he'll talk to the defense, the insurance company, whoever, and then he'll call me and we kind of have an ongoing dialogue. So I'm mediating with that same mediator from last week. I'm meeting with him on Monday.
Okay.
So he texts me today and says, or actually it was an email, and he says, what I did was I sent him an email for Monday's mediation that was like an outline of the case. So when he comes to mediation, everybody else knows about the case. He knows what the facts are, what the injuries are, kind of what I think. And I kind of explain, here's what I think. He says, thanks for the heads up, Mike. I'm looking forward to working with you, as always. Also, I need to talk to you about this other case when you have a minute. Can I give you a call on Monday? He says that to me. I write back, I've got mediation on Monday, so I'm flexible. Just not at 10. Everybody knows in the mediation world, 10 is when you start doing your little opening introduction things. Mm-hmm. So I was like, obviously just not at 10, but call me whenever. He writes back and goes, we're stupid. You're mediating with me on Monday. He goes, I didn't put that together and you didn't put that together. He goes, I'll just talk to you then. And this is on a chain about Monday's mediation. Yeah. That's how tired I think I am right now, is that I'm emailing with the mediator about Monday, being like, hey, I got to call you about this other case, but I'm in mediation on Monday. When can I talk to you? And we're going to be spending the whole day together. But I like mediating with him because I think he's really straightforward, but it shows that we're probably both at the end of our week, him and I, right now.
Yeah.
So getting back to the original thing, which is, do you want to get a date?
I don't have a date that I think she will come. I want
her
to stay in past October 28th.
Do you know I scheduled a webinar I do lawyer webinars. So I have one Tuesday where I'll have
I know why, because I just remembered. Oh, man.
So on Tuesday, I'm doing a webinar where I teach other lawyers and help them. And the topic is depositions in car accident cases.
And why did you schedule it, babe?
Well, no. This one is on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I have a mediation all day Monday,
which would be the 28th, and I just want the baby to stay in because Charlie has an orchestra concert. Get through that, then I'm fine. Let's have the baby. I'll really be bouncing on the ball then.
So I got 251 people signed up for Tuesday's webinar.
That's so. What was the other webinar though that you signed up? Because that's the one I was giggling at.
Yeah. So when I do one webinar, I always want to be able to tell people it's a live webinar. We'll record it and we'll put it online for non-lawyers, but this is like mainly a lawyer thing. Mm-hmm. I always want to be able to say to them, hey, if you're interested, sign up for the next one that I'm doing. Here's what it's about. And I'm doing, actually, I'm kind of cheating. If anybody none of them watch this. I'm cheating because I'm doing the car accident one, deposition and car accident. And then I'm doing trial skills from A to Z is what I've named it. Trial skills from A to Z, right. Literally. Well, that's basically the presentation I just did at the state bar a couple weeks ago when I got back from Salt Lake City. That one that I slept through. I kind of walk through on that Friday.
Yeah, yep.
So I figured I'd actually turn into like a big one and do it.
And when did you schedule the second one?
I scheduled on November 11th.
Which is?
It's a Tuesday.
Which is?
The second Tuesday of November.
Oh, really?
What? What are you getting at?
It is the day before our scheduled induction, which luckily our babies come before the induction dates, but it is the day before our scheduled induction.
You're right. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice.
You also know that our babies come early. They always come before the induction date.
So I'll tell
why would you do that?
I'll tell my secret. Because I don't expect to give the webinar. I don't expect to do it. But marketing isn't about always the information. It's about staying top of mind. And as we just discussed, I don't have billboards around, so I don't stay top of mind through that.
You're so proud of yourself for thinking this up. I could just tell by the goofy smile on your face right now.
I fully expect the baby to come before this second webinar, the one on the 11th. And I fully expect to then send an email with some sort of baby announcement and tell everyone, I can't do this webinar. We're going to reschedule it to whatever. And then I get to stay top of mind. I don't have to do the webinar and people will be interested because they'll be like, oh, Mike just had a baby. I knew he was, I knew him and his wife were having a baby, and I'll probably make some stupid joke or something, maybe a picture if we can. I don't know.
When we had Wells, you sent out an email with Wellsy on it.
Yeah. And do you remember? So I sent it out to all the lawyers that I work with.
A group of lawyers.
Yeah, and it was a wide group. Like there were definitely people that I don't know very well, or maybe we've emailed each other, but I don't know. And so I send this email out. And living in Georgia, we do a lot of work in Florida. We handle cases in Florida and Alabama and Tennessee and South Carolina. There's all the states that touch. And a friend of mine in South Carolina, after I sent that marketing email, and I had a picture of Wells, which Wells looked like every other baby. Mm-hmm. They all look the same. So I had a picture of Wells, send it out, and then somebody posts my email on a South Carolina lawyer listserv, mm-hmm. and says, look at this guy trying to monetize his baby, trying to get cases by using his baby. So somebody
were already putting Wellsy to work.
Yeah, and somebody sent me that.
2 days old.
And one of my friends in South Carolina sends it to me and is like, look at this. Yeah. And I call up the guy. And I say, hey, my name's Mike Rafey. I saw that you saw my email. I just wanted to introduce myself and, see if I could help you in any way or whatever.
Did
and
you tell him thanks for sending out the email to hundreds of other people?
I did. I said, I disarmed him by saying that. But so we had a fine conversation, but I was like, look, man, I kind of appreciate you doing that because you took my email that maybe went to 1,000 lawyers in South Carolina and it actually went to every plaintiff's lawyer. He put it on a listserv for every plaintiff's lawyer in the whole state. And I was like, I'm going to get some business. Like I might owe you a referral fee, but thank you. Thank you a lot. I get that experience. I have that experience too, where, I had a guy recently who I posted something on LinkedIn and the guy wrote back a really shitty thing. Like a really shitty thing, which you don't see a ton on LinkedIn. People disagree.
About a baby?
No, just about like lawyer stuff. He made a really crappy comment about plaintiffs' lawyers and me personally. And I look him up and I'm like, we worked at the same place at the same time. Now, the law firm had like 800 lawyers, so I didn't know him. But I'm like, it's really weird that I'm sure I know people very well that you know.
Right.
Weird thing. So I just sent him an email and said, hey, I saw your LinkedIn post. I deleted it, so I didn't write you a shitty response back because I was going to and I don't want to embarrass you online. But rather than us do that, why don't we go out to lunch? I'll take you to lunch. And the guy writes back, no thanks. And I was like, no problem. But like that's the way to handle that. It's to take it away from offline. So if you've written me a shitty comment, take me to lunch first. That's all I'll ask.
You have to wine and dine them first.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, not a lot of whining, but a lot of dining. I want the dining. All right, so you got to give a date, though. You got to guess, just so we have something.
I'm going to say November 1st.
Oh, wow, that's early. I'm going to go with...
I'm going to curb walk for Halloween, where you step off the curb up. It's another technique.
You in a gang curb walking? Sounds gang related.
I am. Don't try me.
Curb stomping is that's terrible. You know what that is?
No.
Oh, it's great. It's a way to hurt. It's like a really bad,
you hurt people
like
that
a
way?
mafioso way to hurt somebody.
I'm not like that. But
I'm gonna guess it happens on the 11th at 10:30 because my webinar is scheduled for the 11th at 10. So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this one comes. I don't think this baby comes early.
This one will.
I hope you're right.
Yes.
If the baby comes on the 1st, then I'm in this weird spot of do I do the webinar on the 11th?
Oh.
I don't want the baby to come the 11th. I need the baby to come like 5th through 12th, like within a week, Yeah. Because after 10 o'clock, I could probably get away with an hour webinar during the day. I don't know. We'll judge your face as I say this. When am I allowed to work again? Like when am I allowed to like work
You
again?
don't ever stop working.
Yeah, that's why I said work.
I don't know.
When do I work again?
I don't know. So take your guesses, people. When is this baby coming?
Here, I'll do this. We've never done a giveaway.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So.
I love a giveaway.
All right. We'll do this. We've never done a giveaway.
I'm so
ever.
excited.
I've never thought about giving away things to people.
I love it. I don't know what we're going to give away, but we'll give something away.
Well, let's do
I
it
might
to
give you Mike. I'm kidding.
Let's do it to the person who guesses the is closest to. So let's do it for the person who's the closest guess to when the baby's actually born. So in the comments.
The date and the time.
Yeah, date and time. Leave date and time in the comments. Make sure you look through the comments and see that, try that nobody else has done the date and time. If you're the second person, we'll figure it out. But date, time down to the minute, and then we'll go back after we have the baby at some point. We'll look through the comments and we'll write back to the person who's the closest. We'll ask you we'll tell you how to contact us in some way, and then we'll do something for you. We'll send you something, get you something. I don't know.
So fun. And you already know that
Ash is a good gift giver, so she'll think of this.
Our induction date is November 11th, so
it can't be past November 11th.
Well, it could technically, if the hospital is busy, it could be, but
this is going to turn to like Wheel of Fortune. Somebody will be like $1.
All right, so let's end on that.
All right, adios, people. See you when we see you.